Hello, this is book number one for August 2020. Excuse me while I adjust my shirt. I don't know what's happening. It's like that commercial where the shirt loses its pliability. Um, we're still dealing with the black vote. So let's continue. Even with the three-fifths provision in place, the South was outnumbered in the first Congress, which, before a census could be taken, was based on an agreed upon estimation or estimate. The North would have a 53 to 47 edge, but the South felt that it would soon, with the help of the federal ratio, catch up and go beyond the North's numbers, especially as new states were added to the Union. These would come first of all in the Southwest, where population was flowing toward what would become Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Slave states all, as Madison pointed out. The extent and fertility of the western soil would for a long time give to agriculture a preference over manufacture. This would be plantation territory with slave labor. Madison said that representation in Congress could not be frozen at the original numbers, but must reflect the changes in the census. Otherwise, as soon as the southern and western populations should predominate, which must happen in a few years, the power will be in the hands of the minority. In other words, the South was not demanding slave representation to achieve a near parity at the moment, but as a way of achieving majority control in the immediately foreseeable future. Even before he arrived at the Philadelphia Convention, Madison had told Jefferson why he thought that representation by population would supplant the unit vote of the Articles. It is recommended to the Eastern states by the actual superiority of their populations, and to the Southern states by their expected superiority. Madison wrote the same thing to Patrick Henry and George Washington. This promise of future preponderance was used after the convention as an argument for the South to ratify the Constitution, as George Nicholas told the Virginia ratifying convention. The influence of New England and the other northern states is dreaded, but it must be supposed that our population will in short period exceed theirs, as their country is well settled and we have very extensive uncultivated tracts. We shall soon outnumber them in as great a degree as they do us at this time. Therefore, this government, which I trust will last to the remotest age, will be very shortly in our favor. Morris had agreed with this view in Philadelphia. It has been said that North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia only will in a little time have a majority of the people in America. They must in that case include the greater interior country, and everything was to be apprehended from their getting the power into their hands. Given this prospect of large gains in the Southwest, it must be asked why the North gave in to the demand of a three-fifths representation of the slaves. The imminent surge of population was hardly a great secret guarded by the South. Lance Banning describes what must have been obvious to everyone. As of 1786, the West was everywhere perceived as an extension of the South. Western settlement was still almost exclusively on land southwest of the Ohio. Settlers in Kentucky or in Tennessee were often literally the kin of former neighbors of important Southern families, and a great deal more than family ties and family fortune seemed at stake in their continued membership in the American Union. For years, Virginians had identified the economic future of their commonwealth with improvements that would make the Chesapeake the intrepid for European import to the West. More recently, as population had moved increasingly into the old Southwest, it had become increasingly apparent that admission to the Union of Southwestern states could fundamentally affect the federal balance, guaranteeing Southern dominance within the Federation, as assuring the emergence of a national majority whose agricultural character and interests would accord with Virginia's Republican ideals. So, this is what we're dealing with. People arguing about the value of our bodies, jockeying for future position. And it's kind of interesting, too, that we've broken back down into a really pure regional interest. The Northwest, the Northeast is still like an interest together, or what they call the New England states. The Southeast is together. The West Coast is together. Midwest is together. So we may break down into, if not literally and officially, but regional countries. And I just hope I'm in a decent region if I'm still alive when that happens. Well, I should say if I'm still alive when that happens, because it's happening right now. Because New York, New Jersey, Connecticut basically have one set of rules, and Florida, Georgia, South Carolina have another set of rules. So we already see these divisions and these how they're functioning post COVID. Because remember, we are in a new world order. Until next time, I appreciate your support, and I say take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.